Welcome back to the Law Show. I'm attorney Brian Dailey, broadcasting live from high atop the Law Show studios in the Windy City, Chicago. What a bright, beautiful, sunny day it is. What a happy Easter weekend. Shout out to those who observed Passover and wishing you well this weekend. Thank you for listening to the Law Show at 855 Law Show. That's 855-529-7469. Our website is www.thelawshow.com. You can go there right now if you're near a computer. You're going to be near a computer. You can tune in to thelawshow.com. Click on the Watch Live video, and you'll see yours truly answering legal questions right now. 855-529-7469 works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I will answer your phone. You'll actually get me on the phone. I had a number of people who have said, hey, I didn't think I'd get the radio guy on the show or on the phone. But I practice law, and I also do the radio. I have a number of other interests, but I am still actively involved in the practice of law. We've got a number of clients all over the country, and I am intimately involved in their cases, and I'm glad to be able to have that privilege. So if you have a legal question, you can call us right now at 855-529-7469, and we're going to talk to Tom now. Tom, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi, how you doing today?
Fine, thank you. What can I do for you, Tom?
Well, I have a question. I'm married, been married for 14 years now. I had some property that I had purchased prior to marriage.
Yes.
And after we got married, I wanted her to buy a house with me. She never would buy a home.
Okay.
Now, we had some trouble this last year.
Yeah.
She was under the impression, she says, I'm not moving out of here. Now, I wonder, does she have claim to this stuff?
Well, is her name on the home?
No, not on any of the property. I had all except for two pieces prior to marriage.
All right, so let me just trace this through. The piece of property that you are living in, your marital home, is
Yes.
something that you purchased before you got married.
Yeah.
All right, then that is not marital property. That is your property, and it's exempt from distribution. Now,
Okay.
she may be able to come back later and say, well, I helped make the payments, and I decorated it, and I did this, and I did that. The court may listen to that a little bit, but I don't think that's going to carry much water, especially if you can show other properties that you had before you got married, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. We're going to talk to Ann now. Ann, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi. My problem was I had a tank on the toilet crack.
Okay.
I called a plumber out, and he came out, and he was here for an hour. He replaced the toilet.
Okay.
Charged me $965.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, that's what everybody said. Wow. So when I went, after he did that, and I talked to other people, they said, no, that was too much. So I called a number of other plumbers, and they said about $375 to replace it. It wasn't on a weekend. It wasn't a holiday. It was on a Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
How much was the toilet itself?
He didn't give me a breakdown. That's what I wondered. Do I have a right to ask him for a breakdown as to how he came up with that $965?
You do have the right, but I don't think he has an obligation to give that to you.
Okay.
If he were a lawyer, then he'd for certain have an obligation to give it to you. But plumbers really are exempt, and really non-lawyers are exempt from having to give you a breakdown. Have you paid him yet?
Oh, he demanded the money before he came in.
Oh,
he wanted my Discover card, and then when the plumber came in, he called the Discover company and told them that he was here and that he was working on the toilet, and they debited my account right away.
Was it a debit out of your checking account, or was it a charge on your
out
credit?
of my Discover card.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to call Discover and tell them that you think that you've been a victim of fraud, and that the plumber charged you too much money for the service that was performed, and then they will take that money back from him while you go through that process, okay? You may not ultimately win it, but you can get some leverage by doing that. How long ago was it?
Oh, in September.
September? Then you still got time.
I went to Home Depot, and they had a sign that says $69 installed. So I asked the man over there, I said, what does that mean? He said, well, you buy the toilet, and we'll install it for $69.
You know, I'm
Whatever
sorry
color
that
that you want.
I'm sorry you didn't have that
Pardon?
information before, Ann, but you got to take a look at what people are doing for you. You got to make sure that they're treating you fairly, and to ask you for money before they do the work or tell you how much it's going to cost and what it's going to be involved is not right. But you have the last chance to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. You got to tell me what it's going to cost, what it's going to be. My wife and I, we just had a new toilet installed in our own home, and it didn't cost even half of what she paid. But we knew in advance what it was going to cost within a particular range, and our plumber didn't go over that. He did a great job. So there's lots of great plumbers out there. You need to get a good plumber. It sounds like Ann didn't have a good plumber. But the thing is, don't give up your leverage by making the payment until you get the answers to the questions that you want. I'm Brian Dailey. I'm answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469 right here on 890 AM WLS, as I do every single Saturday. We're going to talk to Barbara now. Barbara,
Yeah,
welcome
hi.
to the Law Show.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. What can I do for you, Barbara?
You know, I have a question. Is a power of attorney for a person?
Hey, Barbara, you got to, Barbara, you got to, don't talk so
Yes.
close to the phone, just, and go slower.
Okay, as a power of attorney for a person for property. When that person that I'm power of attorney for wants to change her revocable trust, does the lawyer have a right to ask me to leave, or I should have been there when she was changing and signing the papers?
Well, why does she give you power of attorney if she's got the ability to do her own work, her own affairs? See, here's
No,
here's
she was.
the concern that I've got. The concern that I've got is if somebody is smart enough to handle their changing of the revocable trust, why is it they give up power of attorney, a general power of attorney? That's a very powerful tool. I'm not saying anything about you, but what I'm saying is why did she do that? Why did she give you power of attorney?
Well, she didn't really have power. She passed away already a year and a half ago, but she didn't really have power to go anywhere or do anything. She was disabled.
Okay. Well, under those circumstances, I think the lawyer can tell you that that you need to stay out of the room if she wants you to stay out of the room. Okay. Also, lawyers may be concerned that a person may be under greater influence than they should be, and a lawyer wants to test by asking questions of the person that's given power of attorney if they've done that willingly and voluntarily. It's a very important thing. You shouldn't feel bad about it. Power of attorney does not survive the death of the person who granted it. If I can be of any other assistance, just give us a call during regular business hours at 855-529-7469. Now we're going to talk to Robert. Robert, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi. I had a question regarding student loans.
Okay.
I'm aware of some of the legal ramifications. I recently became unemployed.
Okay.
And I know that if I default on my student loans, that they can, when I get reemployed, they can take some of my wages out of my check. And at the end of the year, that they can take any refunds that I get back. But my big question
whoa, time out. What makes you say that? Because I don't think you're correct.
Oh, okay. I had heard that before.
Well, you cannot garnish somebody's wages or their tax refund unless you have a judgment to do so.
Oh, okay.
So they've got to get a judgment against you first. And in a student loan situation, you cannot bankrupt out of those under most circumstances, okay? But there's more than one way to skin a cat, as we say. And so if you really can't pay them, what you can do is you can allow them to take a judgment against you, and then you can ask for the court to give you a reasonable payment plan. Or you can contact them and say, listen, I can't pay this, but I'll give you a judgment as long as you give me a small payment plan. And we've represented some people with student loans, and of course they're going to be paying those student loans back for the rest of their lives, but they're only paying maybe $100 a month, and that's almost nothing. So that's really what you want to focus on.
Well, my big question is if I default on my student loans, does that stop interest from accruing on those student loans?
No, nothing stops interest from accruing on anything. The man wants to get paid, the man's going to get paid. And that's the way it is, okay?
Okay.
If you need more information, give us a call at 855-529-7469. That's 529-7469. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. It's The Law Show with Brian Dailey from high atop the Law Show studios in the Windy City, Chicago on 890 AM WLS every single Saturday morning at 10 a.m. I'm here right now. I'm going to continue to be here, and next week I'll be here back. Call me whenever you need me. We're going to come back from these few short messages for the final segment of our show. We'll be right back.